I need a hole just a little bigger. That's perfect. This is a 3-part series where in part 1 I remove the world, and in part 2 I throw a farm into the excavated area. And finally, part 3 is decorating the perimeter. This is ridiculous. I have caved for 1 minute. Oh my. This is a monster of a project for just one person to be taking on. This is due to the fact that I don't just have to remove the blocks, but also the water sources and the lava sources as well. This looks like the perfect area for this project. So let's mark out the corners and remove the trees so that we can see the open space clearer. That is all of the trees removed. So now let's get to digging. Well, I realized that I might be here till 2026 if I dug this all out by hand. So let's try placing down some TNT in some holes. Well, that was pathetic. Let's try a few more. That did even less. So I did a little searching around and found plenty of different tutorials on YouTube. But I'm going to go with this one, created by Shulkercraft. I chose this due to the simple material list and because these machines are duplicatable. So let's gather the needed materials for them. A slime farm will be needed because I need stacks of slime blocks. Thanks to the recent updates introducing the oozing effect, we're able to take advantage of that with snow golems and a specific orientation to create a simple but very powerful slime farm. With this final chest boat, we're able to call the farm complete. To use the farm, you just need an auto clicker or set your place button to a button on your keyboard and aim at the observer in front of you. Then, when you want, click the button on the back and flick the lever to activate the farm. However, the more snow golems equals more slime. Heading down the ladder, you can see that there are a ton of slimes waiting for me. After depositing of all of the extra snowballs to be used again, we could take a few swings at the slimes. Now to gather the other materials, including glowstone, pistons, and observers. With all of the materials acquired, we can now move on to the next step, to remove all the water. To remove all the water, I'll be using sponges to soak it up. So let's go to an ocean monument, get mining fatigue, kill the Elder Guardians, so that we can search, and search, and search until we find a sponge room. I repeated this process a few times to get the needed sponges for this project. I even managed to stumble across a mushroom island. I let them live because there was a child. I have morals, you know. So let's get right into the process of draining this area by placing gravel, drying out my sponges in the nether, and placing them in water to soak it all up. This is a time lapse of all of the water being soaked up with sponges, so kick your feet up and enjoy the montage. As well as everything on the surface of the soon-to-be hole, there was also some massive water caves that needed to be drained. This is where a large majority of my time draining was actually spent. There is a very small mountain that needs some leveling so that the machines don't accidentally blow themselves up. With the mountains now leveled and the water drained, it's demolition time. I followed the tutorial for the flying machine straight from the Shulkercraft video. We make these mind-blowing machines look so simple and easy to build in their easy step-by-step tutorials. With a detector rail, a minecart, and a redstone block. Repeated on the other side as well. We can now remove the floor and the build-up pillar. By breaking this redstone block, we can finally let this baby fly. Man, I really thought that this idea would be the bomb, but I hope it doesn't blow up in my face.
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
All jokes aside, the machine started off great. However, I did do something wrong when building the return system for the machine. And this is my very poor attempt to fix it. I quickly returned back to collect my items that hadn't been blown up by the machine. I can't believe that on the first pass of this machine, I died. This is going to be a long project at this rate. I replaced the redstone block and corrected my error. Now kick back and enjoy the next few minutes of the most satisfying thing that you could ever see on camera. While the TNT dupers were running, I was patching up water and lava spots, and there were plenty of those to go around. Ladies and gentlemen, I sincerely apologize for disrupting the beautiful saxophone music, but I have a very important announcement to make. The flying machines are now done. We just have to trim up the edges and we'll be all set. Hit the music. You were probably wondering how I'm going to get rid of these things. These are unable to be blown up by TNT dupers, and they're only found in trial chambers, which I had one in a section of my perimeter. The first option is to mine this block, and I personally don't recommend this method, saying that it could get a little tedious because there are a multitude of them and it could potentially take some patience. However, we are in luck because option 2 is much simpler. You just need to grow a mushroom in a specific orientation to break the spawner instantly. I went with this method due to the simplicity and the consistency. After trimming up all of the walls and removing the spawner blocks, we are now left with this little patch of blocks. And with this final block, the perimeter is now complete. With that, be sure to stay tuned for the next episodes of this series, where I build the most overpowered farm and decorate this place to get it looking pristine. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.